so here's me and CW. We're at the Rebel, and we're just walking around the Rebel, right? And we're gonna play some fun stuff. And we see all these kids that have beads.
Hello, how are you doing?
We're gonna walk up to this booth.
Hi, what's your name? Oh, would you like a bead? Great, well here, have a bead there. Oh, how are you? I'm Tom Watts.
Hi, I'm Lynn Bryant.
Lynn, nice to meet you. I'm glad y'all are here. We're just here at the Rebel and giving out beads.
I've never heard of community renewal. What is it?
Well, it's really a neat deal. All we do is we represent community renewal, and what we're doing is we're just trying to connect people. And what we do, we get people to join what we call the We Care team. It's real simple, man. We just, people just fill out a card and tell one thing they're doing for another person. And that's all. You get a decal for your card. You get a pen to wear, and you just be a caring person. That's all there is to it. Helps us to kind of review this community.
I don't know if I do anything caring.
Oh, you do lots of things. I mean,
I don't know.
Golly, do you pick up your neighbor's newspaper, or do you do something like that, or do you smile at a friend, or do you bring your child to the Rebel?
I don't know. Well, I did bring my child to the
That's it.
Rebel.
Okay, you got a caring thing right there, Lynn. You can be part of the
okay,
team.
I guess I can.
Great, okay.
So what do I do now?
Just fill out the card and tell one thing you do for another person.
Okay. And then I keep, which part of this?
You keep that, the lapel pin there, and then here's a decal for your card. And by the way, if this tells a little bit about what Community Renewal does. There's some things, the different things we do. And if you wanted to get more involved, and again, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to get more involved, there's some ways you can do that. And but we're glad you're here. We're glad you're part of the team.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Are you ready to go now?
You can do
that's
it.
One.
Yeah.
That's one scenario.
You can do it however you want to do it. The main thing is that we're giving people an opportunity. And some people may say, well, I don't want to do that. That's fine. That's fine. Just take a beat and have a good time.
And there's some people who say, well, I've seen those We Care signs, but I don't really know. I didn't really know what they were. And I didn't know. I didn't really know what that was. And I've lived around. I've lived in Cedar Grove all my life, and I've seen the friendship houses, but I didn't really know what they do. And so you can tell what you know about a friendship house, and then your secret weapon is any question that somebody asks you that you don't know the answer to. Would you mind going to their website, communityrenewal.us? Not .org, not .net, .us. Communityrenewal.us, and you can get any kind of information there that you want. And we'll have a card there, and we'll have a list, because really, you'd be surprised how many people will say to you, I don't do anything, I don't do any caring acts. Or I don't know what to write. That's what they'll usually say, I don't know what to write. So I'll have a long list of people there, and then just like Tom did for me, I'll start to say, well, do you give blood? Do you help out at your church? Do you ever do anything in your neighborhood? Are you a member of a club or an organization? And just start giving them some ideas, and then they'll say, oh yeah, I do that, and that, and that, and that. And then they'll end up signing it. And so we do not ask children to sign the We Care card, because we really say 14. Probably if they're 14 or older, and you don't have to ask them their age, but you can tell, pretty much if they're old enough to really know and understand what they're doing. But we do ask the adults to join the We Care team.
Yeah, it is an adult. And again, when you, like Lynn said, the best way is to tell them to look at the website. But that's on this card here that they'll have. If a couple wants to sign up and they just want to sign one card, that's fine. They just put Mr. and Mrs. or John and Jane or whatever on the card, and we'll process that just the same way. If people want to know more, we're going to have there, and we're not going to push this, but we're going to have the newsletter. That's a wonderful piece of information, and a brochure. If you get somebody that really wants to know more, you can tell that, and they'll say, well, God, I'd like to know more about this. Then we'll have these where, offer for them to take a brochure and a newsletter. And the reason we say, just for people that want to know more, generally when you just hand them out, the first trash basket, and they go. And so, we're not, again, this is invitational. The whole thing's invitational, And we want you to be totally comfortable, 100% comfortable with the deal, and just have a good time. The main thing is to have a good time. And because we want you back next year, okay, and year after, and having a good time is what it's all about. And we've seen more blessings out of the Rebel than you can possibly imagine.
And it's fun. It's a lot of fun because our booth is in a real good location. We're typically right under the railroad tracks, right there where you go from the food courts into the art expo. We're usually right there facing the food court, so we get a good crowd that comes by all the time. You want to tell them a little bit about logistics, about some of the things that Melissa asked me before we left if there's any rules and regulations. We don't have rules and regulations at all.
The main thing is just get there a little early before you shift, okay? Because that's just being a good neighbor to the person who's there before you. And if you're on the 5 o'clock shift, if you can get there a little early, it would do two things. Number one, you'll be able to set up, I'm not talking real early, 10 minutes till 5 or something like that. But where you can get set up, but also if you're there, if you're on the 5 o'clock shift, you don't need a pass to get in. And so we're going to get probably 60 to 80 passes that we'll need for everybody. So, but if you're on the 5 o'clock shift, is that not right on that? You wouldn't necessarily need a pass to get in. But get there a little early. We, in the booth, it does have, the sides can be rolled down, but we don't do that. We just leave them up. But when you get to the booth, you'll have in some plastic containers that'll be not like that, but kind of with the tops on them. We'll have the beads, we'll have cards, we'll have all that stuff in plastic containers underneath one of the tables. Now, I talked to Jay Pruden, this one of the crew of elders. They'll have a rack for us. They've made a rack. It'll sit on a table, and beads, they'll put the beads on the rack, but you'll have beads in a little container. Take beads out, put them on the rack, get your materials out, your We Care cards and all that stuff. We'll have plenty of pens, and you're ready to go. Brochures, that stuff too. There will be, as I say, a banner there with the markers, so the kids can write their name. When it gets really full, and we let it get pretty full, and you'll be able to tell because we have banners that have already been done mounted on the sides of the booth. But then when it gets full up, you can take it, turn it over, and then they do the other side. Then we'll have 3 more full banners that'll be underneath the table. So that gives us 8 different sides per banner. So that'll be plenty. I promise you, you will not run out of beads. If you run out of beads, then it'll be the biggest rebel. So, and there's really no other things other than you will see the crew of the elders out there. They'll be in costumes, and they'll be, and they're not going to be trying to solicit people. They're going to be just invitational. So you'll see them. There'll be some camaraderie there, and just have a good time. And I don't think there are restrooms right there. We're in the perfect place. I mean, you're right here. The restrooms are right over here. So if someone needs to go to the restroom, then just go one at a time. Keep one person in the booth, and then I don't know.
When the booth needs to stay open all the time because we sign a contract with the Rebel that says we will man our booth at so many hours. So unless Melissa or Sean calls you, please stick to your shift because it might be raining at your house, but it might not be raining at the Rebel. And sometimes even if it is raining, even if it's just slight showers, they don't close down the Rebel. So unless you get a call from Sean or Melissa, please stay on your scheduled shift.
Yeah, that's great. And again, one of the reasons that we're always invited back, and we don't pay the full price of the booth like a lot of people do, but our booth is always somebody's in our booth, and I think Kip really appreciates that, and that's kind of the spirit of the Rebel. And but the thing is, have fun when you shift over. Go enjoy the Rebel. Go have a good time because you'll have a pass to get in, or if you're there at 5, you get it anyway. And if we have enough passes, we'll just make sure that even the people at 5 o'clock have one. If we, we'll say we have. But anyway, any questions about the Rebel?